So this video is kind of a lot because I'm reviewing, I think 6 different products. There was supposed to be a 7th one, but I totally just forgot about it until I started editing, and now it's kind of too late to record if I want to get this out in a reasonable amount of time, so just the 6. This is going to go in the order that I recorded it to make it easier for me. So we are going to be starting with the Arrtx markers, and I know, another Arrtx video on YouTube. Don't click off. There's more, there's other stuff, I promise. Here's the stuff I'm going to be reviewing in the video. I'll put it up on screen, and if I figured out how to divide YouTube videos into, like, the timeline sections, I'll do that. If not, there should be timestamps in the description or comments. So, I had some technical issues with recording this bit, because of course I did, but to be fair, it was entirely my fault. I don't really have a camera, so instead of, like, getting a camera stand for my phone, which is what I ended up doing for the majority of this video, I taped, like, a 5-year-old webcam that I had sitting around in a drawer somewhere to my desk lamp. Shockingly, this is a horrible way to record anything, and now I have 2 hours of footage that looks like this. Don't worry, the rest of the video is fine. This is obviously not a gripe about Arrtx, I'm just being dumb. And on to the actual review. I got the 90A pack, which is $65.99, but they had, like, an 8% discount that got it right under the free shipping margin because, of course, yeah. So Arrtx markers come with 2 sets of stickers. I can't show them properly because they're the weird footage from the webcam. The pens themselves don't have any notation of what color it is, so they don't have, like, number, letter, even a color name. You have to just put the stickers on yourself. There's ones that go on the end of the pen, and there's ones that you can put wherever, but I think they're supposed to go on the body. It feels unnecessary because they already have other stuff printed on the pen. I think it would be a lot easier to just also print the color on. It's just a little bit tedious. I really don't like the larger stickers because they don't bend very well, and so they're kind of like coming off the edges of the pen, because if you put them on the side, which is the only place you can put them, and then that also means there's no sticker or labeling on the cap, which, in my opinion, there should be one on the cap, one on the body of the pen, but the larger stickers don't really go on the cap, and the smaller stickers are very clearly made for the bottom of the pen. So, unnecessary, a little bit tedious, but not really a big deal at all. The one thing that I found inconvenient, like genuinely inconvenient about the packaging, is that I hate how the box is organized. First of all, the colors are in a weird order, and I think that's pretty common for art supplies. Usually they aren't in, you know, rainbow order or whatever. So it's a little weird, but pretty common. The main issue is that when you have the box, they're all just standing up, and you'd think that I don't know how to explain how this box works, but you'd think that it would make it really uniform and organized, but the problem is that the slots the pens go into are so big that they wiggle around a lot. A lot of the time you can't tell what pens are in what row, but then it's also really hard to tell where an open space is, so if you have, like, multiple pens out at once, which you usually would because you have to layer them to blend the colors together, it's really hard to figure out where they're supposed to go back, or even where is a space you could put them back. In terms of the actual markers themselves, drawing with them, the only issue I had was the little texture bits, which I'm pretty sure are coming off the brush itself. But that's also to be expected. That happens with a lot of brush pens. Not all of them, so At the same time, I don't know if that's something that can be prevented or if that's just how acrylic markers work, because I haven't really had any others. I had one other brand of acrylic markers and they were quite cheap and not very good. The Arrtx markers are basically as opaque as I could reasonably ask for. I used to think that acrylic markers were like magic and just literally 100% opaque no matter what. Obviously that's not true and very unreasonable. And so I was drawing with these and I was like, huh, these aren't really as opaque as I thought they would be. And then I looked at how opaque the white was going over everything else and I was like, that's not realistic. This is about as good as it's going to get. So yeah, I think they're about as opaque as you could reasonably expect. They blend pretty well and are generally very smooth to draw with, aside from the little texture bits that when you go over the same bit a few times, that might also just be from the paper itself. I haven't tried blending them with water yet. I know you can, but I prefer to have my shadows a little more defined, so I don't feel like that was the thing to go for, and also I don't like using water on my paintings. I don't know, I don't really like painting. I'm kind of a coward about that, but anyways, there is a little bit of paper warping, but it wasn't that bad. I probably wouldn't recommend using it on regular paper because this is a Moleskine sketchbook. I probably said that wrong. It was a Moleskine sketchbook, and still did some paper warping, so I don't really have a lot to say about these. They're just nice, they're smooth, they blend well, they're about as opaque as you could reasonably expect. I do have some questions about how they ship these, because I also ordered a pack of like 5 white gel pens, and it's been over a week since I got the email that they arrived, which I got at basically the same time as the acrylic markers themselves, and they still haven't arrived. I have not seen them, and the tracking numbers I received for the order also did not work. So the markers got here for me. I don't know how that's gonna go for other people. I don't know if this is how it usually happens. I hope this isn't normal. I sure hope it isn't normal, but it might be. I've never heard anyone else mention it, but who knows. I don't remember how much they were at the store where I bought it, but on the website itself they have a 12-pack for $30.79, which is about $2.57 for each one. But on Amazon they have a single one for almost $7, which, hear me out, is a little insane. I'm just saying, $7 for like any one pencil. Well, not any. $7 for a pencil, an objectively fairly normal pencil, is too much. It's too much. I don't know what these are made of. On the website, it says that this drawing pencil is a unique formula that combines the smoothness of graphite and the darkness of charcoal. So I guess it's graphite and charcoal, but it doesn't say it combines graphite and charcoal. It just says it combines the smoothness of graphite and the darkness of charcoal. I don't know what they're made of, but they feel nice to draw with, so I'm cool with that. Unsurprisingly, they still do smudge, so I made the really smart decision of drawing on the next page across from the grape drawing, so now I just have charcoal graphite all over my other stuff. The advertising is correct. It is dark and it is smooth. They're easy to draw with and they blend very easily as well. I didn't expect this one at all, and I haven't tried it on the super dark sections, but it actually erases very, very well, which, given the fact that it's charcoal, was expecting that not to happen. It's not exactly high on the usefulness list, because you can't really do much with it besides black and white, but that's not really a criticism. This is not exactly high on the usefulness list, because you can't really do much besides black and white drawings with it, but that's not really a criticism, that's kind of just what it is. It's fun to draw with, smooth, nice. Now, the next one is from the same brand. It's General's Peel and Sketch Charcoal. Again, I don't remember how much it was, but it's $5.99 for a pack of 3 at Michael's. I couldn't find it on their website. It just seems to like not exist anymore. I've been very positive so far, and I really liked the one from before, which is, like I said, the same brand. However, I actually hate this one. Maybe I just hate charcoal because I haven't really drawn with charcoal much, but like, not a big fan. The charcoal was super hard. If it breaks, then it's literally just a flat cylinder. You have no way to sharpen it unless you decide to use a knife, which I have done, not for this, but for others, like drawing stuff. It draws really, really lightly, despite the fact that it's charcoal. You have to press really hard for it to get dark. And it only works like sometimes at certain angles. Sometimes it just won't. I don't really know how to describe the feeling of drawing with this against paper, but it's not smooth and it's not fun. It just feels like it's something that is not made for drawing, but you're like using it for drawing despite that. Sometimes if you get like the exact angle right, like I said, it gets dark or it, it feels normal, but generally it's just like unpleasant. Like there's a lot of friction and it's like grating on the paper. It's just not doing it. I really don't know how to explain this. The feeling is bad. And it also makes the same sound as like chalk, which that's a personal thing. That's a personal thing, but I don't like the sound of chalk. Like I said, it just doesn't feel like it's made for drawing. The feeling of drawing with this on paper is really not nice, and it doesn't look good either, and it's not horribly consistent. It also erases very, very badly. The whole peel and sketch thing, the peeling bit, there's a string that hangs off that you're supposed to pull down to rip off the edge. The string kind of gets in the way a little bit because it's like dangling onto the paper. And the peel bit, I was struggling with a lot, as you can see. It just would not come off on the perforations. It would not come off on the perforations. It just kept, like, just tearing in random places, and then it would get stuck halfway up, and you wouldn't actually get to peel it properly. So, really not a fan of this one. I would not suggest buying this. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but I don't like it. I couldn't find many listings online that were just one brush. It seemed like they were all different colors and packs. There was a singular one on Amazon for like $7, which again is insane. I don't know what the pattern is there, but it's ridiculous. Please don't pay $7 for any of the singular pens or brushes on this. We're not going to talk about the first drawing I made with this. It's a really nice pen. It's very pigmented. It has a good ranges and it can go pretty thin and get pretty wide as well. I don't really know how to word that any better, but you can see what I mean. I think I just don't know how to use brush pens like this. I don't usually do line art, really, which is probably why I like the Arrtx markers so much. It feels nice. Like I said, it's, like, objectively I can tell it's a well-made brush. I just don't know how to use it, and that is fully a me problem. If you're into brush pens, like, not for coloring, but actually for lining, or just straight up the whole thing, then sure, I think this would probably be good if you can manage to find one. But for me, I think I need some time, I need some practice, I need to figure out how to use this, because it's clearly not going great. This is 0.5. It's $2.59 on the website. This one, for me, is kind of mid. I like the packaging. It feels nicer than a lot of other line art pens that I've used. It's a little more smooth than the other pens. The one in the video is the Artist Loft's illustration pen in 0.8. And I mean smooth not in the feel sense, but as in the line is physically more uniform. It's not enough of a difference that I think that it matters, and I'm not even sure the camera will be able to pick it up. It also smudges a little less when you're going through and coloring it, but it's not like it doesn't smudge at all. So if you already have a few fine line pens, then it's really not good enough to justify switching or buying another one. If you want to buy a fine line pen and you don't really have any already, or yours are already out, it's good. But as far as I can tell, you'd have to go a little bit out of your way to buy it, because I've never seen these ones in person before. I might just not live in the right area, so maybe you see them a lot, but they're not good enough that I would be fussed about it. They're good, but so marginally better than other similar pens that I don't think it's worth actively looking out for them. If you stumble upon one, you already think about replacing yours or getting a new one for whatever reason, sure, I like them better than some of the other brands that I see more, but it's barely an upgrade. This is the primary 30 pack. I bought these for $83.54, but you could find them a little cheaper from what I've seen online. You can't buy them from their actual website though, which is a little weird. Apparently there's supposed to be watercolor pens. This was not anywhere on the box. It is, but it's in like tiny print on the back where it's like, oh, these are water, space, color. It wasn't put anywhere, so I did this entire thing on regular multimedia paper. Some of this might not be as bad, or it might feel different if you used it on actual watercolor paper, but I did not know that. They also kind of feel like alcohol ink to me, and I'll explain that in a bit. First things first, I don't like how big the pens themselves are. It's a little awkward if you're drawing something smaller. The pack doesn't come with any skin tones, and I don't believe I saw any when I was looking through the website. I'm sure everyone's gone through the experience of getting sent something and realizing there's no skin tones, so it's not exactly the most uncommon criticism, but it is still a criticism, I would say. The reason I said that they were like alcohol ink is because even though the colors do blend very easily, they also get dark very easily, and they leave a kind of weird spotty pattern if too much ink gets on the page, or even just layering it like twice. It, again, could be because it's not watercolor paper, but it is multimedia, so I think that should be sufficient. I'm not sure. The colors are nice or vibrant. The colors are nice and vibrant if you use broad stroke. The colors are nice and vibrant if you use broad strokes and don't. The colors are nice and vibrant if you use broad strokes and don't go over yourself. What am I saying? The colors are nice and vibrant if you use broad strokes and don't layer very much, so I think they might be better for lettering or something like that rather than coloring in drawings. I probably wouldn't recommend these for actual coloring. You can find something better pretty easily, I'd say. It's not like water-based brush pens are exactly a rarity. Would not recommend overall. Not horrible, but for that much money you can find something better. Also, the back of the box says can be combined well with digital work, and I don't know what that means. It's pretty obviously a very poor translation from, I think, probably German, but I still don't know what that means. Hi, if you're still here, thank you for watching all the way through. This is my first proper long-form video, so congratulations to me, and also so sorry if anything is wonky or the footage or audio is bad. I hope some of these reviews are helpful. I hope it wasn't too off-putting that like half of them are very hard to find. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. It helps out, and I'll see you next time.